Zero torque putters are all the rage these days. They claim to stay perfectly square to the target line. But does that mean that you actually make more putts? And are they actually truly torque free or zero torque? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about how putters work, how putters are made, and answer those questions with facts and video that will actually surprise you. No matter what kind of putter you use, you're going to want to get this information. So stick with me. Now, we all know that one of the most important things in putting is a square putter face at impact. We know that you can hit the ball with a stroke that's pushing it, and if the putter face is square, the ball goes straight up the target line. I've got video on the channel showing a stroke that pushes the ball 10 degrees to the right and a stroke that's pushing 10 degrees to the left, but with both of those strokes, the putter face is perfectly square and the ball rolls straight. And torque is when a putter is balanced in such a way when you're not applying any pressure to the grip or the handle that the putter has a tendency to twist or pull one way or the other because of how it's weighted. We also know that a putter is actually, if you break it down, it's a weight on the end of a stick. And the way that that weight is balanced determines how easy it is to keep this face square at impact. So to understand how we got to this zero torque thing and answer the question of whether it helps or not, we need to understand a little bit about the history of putters. So let's go through that quickly, and then we'll get to does it actually help or not, and actually show you videos to answer the question, are they really torque free or not? So if you're trying to keep the putter face square to the target line at impact, even the smallest, tiniest amount of torque matters. And I'll illustrate that for you this way. If you are off by 1 degree, you miss every putt from 10 feet, completely miss the hole. If you're off by 2 degrees, you miss every putt from 5 feet, completely miss the hole. Here's a putter that's absolutely square, and here's a putter that's 2 degrees open, and here's a putter that's 2 degrees closed. And if you look at those graphics, you could hardly tell the difference. The slightest amount of torque matters, and you'll want to remember that when we get later in this video. But there are a couple of things that make it really difficult to keep the face of that weight, that putter head, straight square to your target line. Number one, because you have to make a stroke from beside the ball, the shaft goes in at an angle, not 90 degrees straight up and down. So that means that no matter how hard we try, if I take my hands and I move my hands straight back and straight through, the putter out away from my hands is going to have to arc a little bit. And then your shoulders are 3/4 rotating joints. And so the bottom line is if you're moving the putter more than about 5 inches, it's not going to be straight back and straight through. There's going to be a little bit of arc there. And so golfers have known forever that the way this weight is balanced on the end of this stick affects how stable the putter face is and how easy it is to keep that face square to the target line. That's why it was a huge evolution in putters when Karsten Solheim from Ping came up with the idea of moving the weight and balancing the putter, moving it more to the perimeter. That spread the weight out, made the putter more stable during the stroke, increased the moment of inertia, and that made it easier for people to putt the ball straight up their line. Now get us to today with these modern putters that claim to be torque-free or zero torque. So you can balance a putter to correct part of this arc in your stroke. That's why some putters are made with what's called toe hang. They make the toe a little bit heavier because people are arcing their stroke, and the tendency is, because we're trail hand dominant, most people are, is to over arc the putter and close the face. So they make toe hang putters with the toe a little heavier, so it will be slower in closing, more to keep it square at target. And that works for a lot of people. That's been the traditional thing. And then there face balance putters, which balance with the face straight up like this and like what I'm showing you in the video. And that means it doesn't open or close. If you think you have more of a straight back and straight through, less arcing stroke, then the putter's not going to arc the head. The face is not going to arc as much. And you roll it, and some people like those. My problem with that is if this is a face balance putter, then when I completely relax my hands and my grips, the tendency for the putter is going to be like that, pointed up at the sky. And if I make a truly great, perfect stroke, then a face balance putter is going to open because it always wants to point up at the sky. And that being open is going to cause me to push putts to the right, and I'm going to develop a stroke problem of then over rotating and flipping my wrist and pulling them to the left, and I've got stroke by all kinds of problems. And so the folks at L.A.B Golf and Honu and a number of others, Axis and Even Roll, all kinds of putter manufacturers started working on what I call a target balance. Some of them simply call it torque free. L.A.B calls it lie angle balance. That's where the L.A.B L.A.B comes from. But it's balancing the putter in such a way that the face points towards the target. Idea, and PXG does this, L.A.B does this. Everybody is getting on the action. Even Bettinardi has one coming out that stays target balanced. And so as I start to make a stroke, if I have any arc, now the face is not balanced. This putter that's target balanced is going to rotate some and go pointed at the target. L.A.B has very carefully built their revealer product so it doesn't show that arcing and changing, but it's there. My point here is, if you'll notice in the video clips that I'm putting on the screen, that these putters that stay target balanced, no matter what direction you move or flip or rotate that putter head, it goes back towards the target. But that movement is torque. You see that? That's torque. And that means that these putters are not torque free. And any torque at all matters. So let's wrap this up and come to some conclusions about the whole torque-free putter thing. Number one, you don't need to go out and spend $500 or $600 for a new putter. You can, with your hands, with a good putting stroke, putt well enough to make a lot of putts in the hole. In fact, for a lot less money, you can purchase my course, How to Putt the Right Way, develop that kind of stroke. You'll get more success for a lot less money, and it'll help you no matter what kind of putter that you have. Conclusion number two, zero torque and these modern torque-free putters are certainly better because they're balanced in a way that stays pointed at the target. So even if we make a little mistake, these modern putters that keep the putter face more square to the target line will help us. It'll auto-correct our mistake a little bit, and that's better. Conclusion number three. Most of these modern putters that claim to be torque-free or zero torque are in fact not. They're target balanced, and you take the putter back and open the face a little bit, it's going to torque some to keep that face square. You take it through, close the face a little bit, it's going to torque some to keep that face square. That will cause you to miss less, but it's still not a substitute for a perfect stroke. Only two putters that I know out there, putter made by Andy Walters, who's an engineer and surveyor. He makes it for a green reading method that he came up with and teaches as using the putter shaft as an actual surveying instrument so it stays perfectly square. His putters, wherever you point the face, they stay. If you point it at the target, it stays there. If you move it offline, it goes where you point it. So you have a good stroke, you control the putter face, that's a great option. The second one is the Honu putter that I use. The face stays exactly where you point it. It doesn't rotate or twist. It doesn't try to autocorrect, which means with a Honu, the putter is never torquing or twisting. And that means if you learn to putt the right way and make a stroke that has the putter face square to the target line in those last 4 or 5 inches before impact, you'll roll the ball straight up the line every time. You'll never feel the putter twisting either way to try to correct your stroke or to do anything else. Full disclosure, I've been offered affiliate arrangements by a number of these putter manufacturers. I've chosen only to have an affiliate relationship with Honu because that's what I choose to play. Now immediately somebody is going to ask, well, why aren't putters like the Walters putter or the Honu, why aren't they on the tour? And the answer to that is really simple. Neither of those companies have the marketing budget to go out and get and sponsor a tour player and get someone to use it. So you say, well, why don't they go out and get some investors and sponsor a tour pro and they'd sell a lot more putters? Yeah, but they're made out of recycled bamboo flooring, which is in limited supply, by a handmade by a surfboard craftsman, which is also limited supply and limited time. And so you have a tour player they sponsor and he goes out and finishes in the top 5, top 10. The announcers are talking about that putter and people are seeing that putter on TV, and all of a sudden you got orders for 900,000 putters. You don't have enough materials to make that, and it's a total flop, and that's not Honu's goal. That's why you don't see them on the tour. My prediction, sometime in the near future, somebody will come along and balance putters in the way that the Honu and that the Walters putter are made so that they stay pointed at the target, and the tour pro will use it and they'll putt better and they'll win, and then everybody will start wanting that. It'll blow through the roof, and all of these manufacturers who are now claiming to be zero torque and actually not zero torque but target balance will switch and make putters like this. Probably went into too much detail in this video and gave you more information than you ever wanted to know about how putters are balanced. Next time we'll get back to tips to help you make more putts. And if you like that kind of thing, then you know the drill. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Check out this video on the screen now, and until next time, here's to you making more putts.